So it was a quick turnaround.
And the workshop
but
was
it required a tremendous amount of investment of time for it to have a quick turnaround.
I see.
The workshop was the like third week of February
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Apologies if this sounds naive, but I'm trying to get a sense of like what's the overall goal of figuring out the brand positioning here. Are you trying to boost sales over prudence? Are you trying to ensure that there's a healthy market for condoms in Mozambique overall, or sort of what are you trying to get at?
I think the latter rather than the former. I mean, the analysis was done. I mean, like I said, we kind of brought in information from this other semiotic analysis that was done by someone else, and looking at the kind of condom market and where we fit in and where it makes sense for us to fit in, and not to be overlapping so much with people who are being successful at what they're doing, but really to have a healthy condom market.
Okay.
And also, I mean, just kind of going back to that slide where I showed you like all of our brands, and all of our extensions, like figuring out, okay, whether or not that's necessary, yes or no, and you know, if we're going to cut, where should we cut? If we need to add, what do we add? So it's really kind of taking stock of where we are and then kind of figuring out where to go from there.
I just was wondering, who were the participants in the workshop again?
You know, they were PSI employees. Benoit and I were the only kind of expats in the group. They were all very young. All people were chosen based on their willingness to be participative. I mean, just sitting there and kind of checking your email was just not an option. I mean, we just made it not an option. So it was really people who were going to be dynamic, who were going to bring a perspective, who were going to bring kind of motivation into the workshop and to do the work. Like I said, most of them were kind of on the younger side, as most of our employees are. And they came from all different departments. We had people from research there, we had people from all the program areas, we had people from procurement, we had people from finance. So we really tried to bring in kind of people from all of the organization.
Have you ever, just to follow up to that, has PSI Mozambique ever done like a participatory workshop where you like bring people from the selected communities and kind of have them, you know, a focus group or like to give feedback on marketing and...
Yeah, so I mean, last year we did our first flash focus that we did on the Confianza condom brand, which is a family planning condom. And we did consumer workshops as part of that flash focus. And we brought in people, 8 different consumer workshops to talk about the brand and talk about the marketing around the brand and whether it works and whether it doesn't work. So we have done that too. But I think that, and I kind of shared that same kind of comment with Benoit, who came from Swaziland, to walk us through this process. And basically what we want to hear, though, is to look at the brand within the market and not just the brand itself. So it was kind of like a broader perspective.
Jeito's marketed to 18s to 35s, is that the idea? Did I...
Yeah, I mean, right now it's to everybody. If you look at the marketing plan, it's to everybody, young or old, male or female.
It says Gen Pop or something
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
marketing plan. Yeah.
Does one of your offshoots appeal more to youth, or is targeted more like the
Well, the
studied
scented and the studded were supposed to be marketed more to youth. Yeah.
Those the different types of packaging and types of the variety you have, from this, are they planning to repackage and redo that?
Well,
or is it just going to be like more the marketing aspect outside of
No,
the
it's
repackaging?
everything. I mean, I think those are really the next steps.
But the ones you showed are the old ones, right?
The current.
Okay, current ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you describe how this activity fits in or doesn't with previous research that's been done on condoms or condom use on
In Mozambique,
brands
or?
on the market? Yeah, and whether there are implications for future research based on this.
In Mozambique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, this is my first time going through this too, so I'm not really the expert in this process. But in speaking about this with Benoit, he said that, you know, in an ideal world, from here, we would do a quantitative to just ensure that all of our main conclusions and everything are, you know, showing up, and that, to verify, pretty much, that what we're concluding is actually valid. And in an ideal world, I think that's what would happen. I don't know what the plans are right now. Like I said, right now it's just kind of, it was a tremendous amount of work, like building up to it, and now it's just kind of sorting through where to go from here. Previous kind of research, a lot of it, let me take that back. Many of the recent studies were done on condom use generally, and not necessarily relating to brands. With the exception of Jeito aromatizado, which was introduced prior to my coming to Mozambique, they did a lot of kind of focus groups and stuff to develop that extension. So a lot of the recent research has just been like a track study on condom use, and not necessarily related to brands.
And a question about the 4 profiles that you created. Sort of, was the main purpose of identifying these 4 archetypes just to understand what their sort of needs were to be able to plot them on this table, or will you eventually
And who you're going to
market to
prioritize.
them?
Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out who to prioritize.
And my other question is, what was the role sort of women? Because at least for Prudence, you saw that this was, and sort of was that explored in terms of how women influence condom decision making? Because you saw that for Prudence,